What is up, my comic comrades? I am back at it once again here with another lovely variant live on a Monday because we are back on track. I'm so happy. I know you guys. I've been saying it for a while because like the last 2 months have been crazy with like the flu season and stuff like that. But we've been keeping to our word here, and every Monday giving you a variant live to talk about all the latest and greatest comic book news coming out each and every week, whether it's movies, whether it's TV shows, whether it's video games, whether it's comic books. But today is a very special one because we're mainly going to focus on, as the title says, the Captain Marvel spoiler review. I already gave you guys my spoiler-free thoughts, and now today I'm giving you my spoiler thoughts. So we're gonna get into that. But first, or do you guys want me to talk about that first? You guys, because I want to talk about Genlock, guys. Genlock, amazing. It's great. Episode 2. I'm gonna say I'm shocked how much I genuinely like it. I'm not just saying that I really like the show. Pretty pretty crazy. But we got people coming in, awesome, filling up. So I'm gonna wait a little bit before I get into it. I'll rant for a bit so that way we get some people in here and then I start talking about the movie and then you could actually watch it live. Um, but so I'll go on my little Genlock spiel for a bit before I get into my thoughts. Just I'll get into it more at the end. But I'm gonna tell you guys what's up. So as you guys know, we are have partnered with the lovely people at Verve for quite a while now, and here on Variant Live, we've been doing watch along. So we did My Hero Academia, we did Attack on Titans, and every week how this works is I'm like, hey guys, watch episode 1 of Attack on Titan, right? But this time I'm like, hey, watch episode 1 of Genlock, and then we'll discuss the following Monday here on Variant Live. So we've been doing that. We're on episode 2. I'm going to talk about episode 2 today. If you want to watch along with me and all the other people of the Variant Nation, all you got to do is click the link in the description below. You get a free 30-day ad-free trial for Verve Premium, no ads, and 30 days to enjoy Genlock, Dragon Ball Super, Attack on Titan, My Hero Academia, My Hero Academia. They have the Nick Splat channel on there with like Are You Afraid of the Dark, Doug, all that good stuff. Salute Your Shorts, all the 90s Nickelodeon nostalgia. They also got Freakazoid on there, all kinds of good stuff. 30 days ad free. Link in the description below. But first, everyone's like, talk Captain Marvel first. Talk Captain Marvel first. So I will do that for you guys. I'll do that because I hear you and I see you. All right. So let's get into it. I think there's enough people in here to start talking about I was gonna say Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. All right. So I'm gonna get into it. If you've seen my spoiler free review that went up on Saturday morning, then you already know what I thought. Um if you didn't watch that, well, I'm just gonna tell you what I thought. I thought the movie overall was very mediocre. Very mediocre. I didn't hate it. I definitely didn't love it. It was like I said in my review, the thing I could say the most about it is it's just very forgettable. I thought it had a lot of lackluster performances, and the movie was just missing a lot of. For me personally, I mean, if you like the movie, awesome, more power to you. That is great. This is my opinion. Even though I know this is the internet, people would be like, "You're an idiot. I don't care what your opinion is. Your opinion's not mine, so you're stupid." Thus, welcome to 2019. With that said, though, again, this is a spoiler review. If you didn't read the title already, spoiler. If you haven't seen Marvel, spoilers galore. So, all right, let's get into one of the as a comic book fan. Let's get into one of the things that I really didn't like that we found out as a twist with the scrolls during the movie. The scrolls again, spoilers. So, as we all know, the scrolls are one of the like longest running cosmic villains in the Marvel universe in the comics. Right, they were introduced in I believe Fantastic Four issue 2, way back when, over 50 years ago. The Skrulls, everyone knows the Skrulls. They're one of the most popular villains in the freaking Marvel comics. With that said, this was their first introduction into the MCU. So I'm like, yes, awesome. We got the Skrulls in here. And, Disney bought the rights from Fox, meaning that means we're going to get the Fantastic Four with them. We're going to get probably Galactus and Silver Surfer. And the cosmic universe is going to be built out even more because they already got Guardians of the Galaxy. And now that they got Captain Marvel. And this is going to be cool. We got the Marvel cosmic universe going, right? Twist is, we're led to believe that the Skrulls are the villains of the movie. Guess what? They're not. They are the bad guys. I mean, they're the good guys. And see, I'm so ingrained that they're bad guys. They're the good guys in the movie. They are not the enemies. We find out. So, long story short, they made the scrolls good guys, which one made me angry is it's just such a waste of like wasted potential because I mean they're the scrolls. I'm like, this is gonna be a lot of cool things going forward. Maybe this will be the catalyst like for Endgame, where maybe some of them were scrolls all along, and that would go into phase four where like, hey, this is we're going into secret invasion. That's where this is gonna go. So it's just like, why would you take one? You know what it was to me? You know what it freaking was to me? It was like what they did in Iron Man 3 with Mandarin. It's literally that. You take one of Iron Man's most known and beloved villains, right? And then you're like, "Oh, by the way, he's not real. He's an act. It's just a guy playing the Mandarin all based on a myth. He's not really real." Which got all the Marvel fans pissed and all the comic book fans pissed. So much so that like later on they had to do a short to retcon what they did with him in Iron Man 3, because Iron Man 3, like, yeah, he's not real, it's just a myth, doesn't exist, it's a guy, it's an actor playing him. So, but they got the audience so pissed off that they had to retcon it with a one-shot short. I think it's called All Hail the King, with Ben Kingsley in it, where at the end of said short, they're like, oh no, the Mandarin's real and he's pissed that you were pretending to be him. Yeah, that's how pissed people were at Marvel Studios and stuff that they had to go back and be like, no, 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 no. What we meant is he's actually real. This was just the guy playing him, and we didn't want to introduce him yet. So, yeah. So it was kind of that scenario where they took the scrolls and they're like, yeah, they're awesome bad guys, right? No, they're good guys. So I'm curious to see if that'll get recon later on because I know I'm not the only one mad that they did that with the scrolls. It's a bit annoying. What else that I wasn't able to say? Okay, because spoilers too. Um, Nick Fury, we find out how he lost his eye in this movie. Now, I forget what Marvel movie it is, because there's so many now. There's like over 20 or whatever. But in one of the Marvel movies, he says, "Last time I trust someone, I lost an eye." I think it was the first Avengers movie. I believe it's the first Avengers movie. It's like last time I trust someone, I lost an eye, right? And then I believe like within the first 30 or so minutes of Captain Marvel, he gets the cat and he's like, he makes a reference to trusting the cat, right? And you're like, no, I literally turned to my friend. I went to the movie with my friend. So I turned to my friend Bobby. I'm like, if that's how he loses his eye, because there was already rumors that that's how the cat. Everyone was like, yeah, the cat's how he loses his eye because he already had like he took his eye patch off in I believe Winter Soldier when he had to scan it, and you already see like the 3 claw marks and all that stuff. So I'm like, that was the rumor. It's like, it just makes sense that the cat would do it. So I'm like, but if this just like, I don't know, at least do it cool. Anyway, they did it to where he was literally just holding the cat, and the cat at this point isn't a cat. It's like an alien disguised as a cat. I forget what they called it, like I don't know what they called it, but there was a name for it where everyone's like, that's a blah blah blah, and then Nick Fury and everyone's like, it's just a freaking house cat. Turns out no, it was the whatever they call it, fluker, clucker. I don't know. I don't remember. Anyway, it was an alien basically, and it scratched his eye, and he's like, "Oh, it'll be okay." But it was like a gag. The way they did it, it was like a gag. It was like a joke. Like I'm like Nick Fury, former OSS, former CIA, Shield agent, military, like freaking badass dude, and you have all these cool ways he could have lost his eye, and you make him lose his eye on like a gag, on a joke, because the way they did it was very much like a haha, not like a serious, like not sacrificing himself like to jump and save Captain Marvel or Coulson or any heroic act. It was just the fact that it was a joke. So that kind of annoyed me. I was like, or a flarkin. There it is. Boom. A flarkin. That's what it is. Thanks, guys. No, I can count on you. I've only seen the movie once, so I don't remember. And they only said it like 2 or 3 times, so I don't remember. All I knew is it wasn't. It was just funny that that was one of the funny parts of the movie where Talos was like scared of the cat because he's like, "That's a flurkin." And what the frick's a flurkin? It's a house cat. um. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was a weak way for him to lose his eye. And the third big thing, as far as like things that happened that I didn't like was the fact that at the very, very end of the movie, Nick Fury, when he's like, he's developing basically the Avengers Initiative, like the Heroes Initiative. He's developing like all that stuff, like what would ultimately be the Avengers. Finds an old picture of Carol Danvers, like standing next to her jet, and on the side of the jet it says Carol Avenger Danvers. It says Carol, then quotations Avenger Danvers. He sees the picture, he goes, huh, and then deletes what he said, what he was writing on his laptop or whatever, and writes Avengers. So you're telling me that the reason why they're called the Avengers is because he's using her old nickname essentially. He's like, oh, that's a cool nickname. We're gonna call it. So basically, they're called the Avengers because of Captain Marvel, which again, I mean, to me personally, I feel like you need to base that stuff around like Captain America because the first Avenger, whatever. But it's just I kind of said it in my spoiler free review where I just feel like all this stuff was kind of like unearned. Where I don't have a problem like if you do that stuff. It's just like they came out of nowhere and in one movie are like saying that like she's always been there and she's this like Captain Marvel has been this and that. It's like it just feels so unearned, which is like when all these other characters had multiple movies. We've known them for multiple years. They built their story up over time. So like they earned our like, love and admiration for like this kind of stuff. But to like do that, like just kind of like throw that in there last minute and be like, oh, by the way, they're the Avengers because of this. It also has some kind of continuity issues with the first Avengers movie. If you go back and watch it, I don't remember off the top of my head. But I was reading a thing where I'm like, oh my god, they're right. Where a lot of the stuff Nick Fury does, and this movie even says was always there, has continuity issues with stuff he said in the first Avengers movie, as far as the Tesseract, even where he came up with the Avengers name. So it's just kind of like, what? That's weird. Also, Amir Al-Lahadwan, he gave a super chat, so he says, "Love the channel." So I wanted to shout him out real quick. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, man. I'm glad you like to hear me rant and rave and talk about all these characters and give you history of. That's awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you for the support and for that super chat. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. But yeah, I just feel like that's my biggest thing with this movie. I just feel like everything was like not earned. Like we're not supposed to just like a character because he or she is super strong and like, oh, look how powerful they are. Now we like them. No, that's not a thing. Like again, I can't stress enough. Everyone else in the MCU has been built up over multiple years, over multiple movies. That's why we mainly care. We've learned to care about them. We're familiar with them. It's like knowing a friend, you know what I mean, forever, or even watching like your favorite TV character or YouTuber. You watch them every week. You feel like you know them, you know what I mean? You care for them even though you don't know them. You watch them so much and you've seen all their stories that there's an attachment there. So you can't just introduce a character one time and then make them like, oh, they're the head, they're the reason for all this and this and that. It's because it's kind of, I mean, it comes off just like lazy, to be honest. It's like very much it is like, oh, BT Dubs, reason to call Avengers. That was your old nickname. And Fury liked it. They're the Avengers. It's like you're talking about the Avengers. Like that's what you're gonna do. I don't know. I don't know. This is my 2 cents again. Again, I don't know. It's just that's my personal opinion. If you don't agree, that's fine. But I just feel like a lot of that stuff wasn't earned per se. Um, with that said, though, like again, I don't want to feel like I'm just like tearing this thing apart. There was Nick Fury was awesome. Talos was pretty funny. I wasn't expecting him to be funny though. I was kind of thrown for a loop because I kind of wanted him to be more serious, more dramatic. But his funny bits were pretty freaking hilarious. All the '90s references. I'm a '90s kid, so like when they're all sitting there waiting for the internet to load, that was hilarious. Radio Shack joke was funny. Blockbuster. So seeing all that stuff and just all the old computers, all those '90s references were really cool. Um, Goose the Cat was obviously great. What's his name? Ben Mendelsohn again, his house. Even when he was transformed in his human form, awesome. Uh, Jude Law, I love Jude Law, but again, I said it in my spoiler-free review. He didn't do anything for me. It's like, okay, I didn't really care much, one way or another. Like brought it up. What is his motivation? People were like, oh, well, he wanted to, use Carol Danvers as a weapon and use her, blah blah blah, and make her like line with him and stuff. I'm like, okay, that's like so bland and basic. Like he didn't have like any like real overlapping arc that you could be like, this is this. Like what I think they should have done is they should have flushed out the Kree more. Like they didn't really talk about the Kree enough for you to care. Like they would have first want to be like, look, they think they're these elitists, they think they're this awesome race or blah blah, and that's why they're doing what they're doing. But they didn't spend any time doing that. They just did things and I didn't care because you just did things and you didn't really give me any backstory or reasons to care. I know again, if you some people, thought that was stuff was fine. That's great. I did not. Um, I do think Brie Larson will be a lot better in Avengers Endgame, though, but I feel like that's also kind of not fair because everyone's better when the Russo brothers. Or I mean, think like me personally, my favorite Marvel movies are all the Russo brother ones, like Winter Soldier, Civil War, Infinity War, like those, and they're all the Russo brothers. They're on another level as far as directing is. It's like they're like the Steven Spielbergs of the freaking MCU. It's kind of not fair. Yeah. So my biggest thing was that as I felt like no character really had any motivation. There was no character development or any of that stuff. And it kind of sucks because I wanted to like the movie. Like, why would I not want to like the movie? So it's just kind of unfortunate, especially since this is like the last movie going into Endgame. It's kind of like you want to go in on a high note. I know, and I personally am not going in on a high note. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. He's okay. Could have been better. So yeah. Some of the comment section goes, "All hail the Russos, dude." Yeah, they are. I have faith in them. I mean, literally to me, I know a lot of people's favorite Marvel movie so far is Winter Soldier. But for me, their movies just keep getting better. They did Winter Soldier, awesome. They did Civil War, I thought was even better, and did Infinity War, which I thought was even better than that. So they keep just going do do do. So I could, if that stays true with Endgame, Mama Pajama, Mama Pajama. I'm trying to see if I missed anything here. I think those are my. I mean, again, those are all the spoiler stuff. As far as like I couldn't talk about like the Nick Fury, the scroll thing was a big one. And the Avengers thing was a big one. Also the lead in for Endgame in the first post credit scene that was pretty cool. Not really much to it. They basically we just see the Captain America, Black Widow, Rhodes, and Banner basically have the pager that Carol Danvers gives Nick Fury at the end of this movie, which he used at the end of Infinity War to call her. We see that they now have it, and they're trying to communicate with her by the end of like the tease, she shows up and she's like, "Yo, I'm here. What's good?" And it turns to black. So we now know, yeah, Captain Marvel's on the scene. So I'm very curious to see what Endgame's going to be like and what like how she's going to be the catalyst or not to what goes on. Because I said it before, like Captain Marvel has to be the reason they defeat Thanos. Like you could have Captain Marvel and any other heavy hitter, the Hulk, Vision, beat on Thanos all day long, but the reason they win in the end has to be because of something Captain America did with the help of Iron Man or without the help of Iron Man. Those two, because those are like the freaking pillars of the MCU. Because I would imagine Captain America's gone. He's gonna die. I would think they could totally fool us, but I would imagine he's dead. So I figure like his sacrifice has to be the reason why they win. And if they don't, and they give that to some other character, I don't care if they do give it to Thor, Hulk. I don't care if they give it to anyone else but him. I would be livid. He's Cap, man. He's Cap. You gotta give it. He's the first Avenger. He's Captain freaking America. Good old Cap. I would follow that guy into war. Captain America could walk in, be like, "Yo, we gotta go take care of some business, but I can't have you ask any questions." You know what I would say to him? Your cars are mine. Your car are mine. I wouldn't ask any questions. I would just go. I would just go. I would just go, and I would go. And it would be amazing because Captain America. K Tucker, Cap is lame, bro. Agree to disagree. Hard agree to disagree. But that's what's so great. We could all have our own opinion. I got another super chat here from 85667N. What's going on there, huh? Do you think Wolverine will ever be in an Avenger movie? Hopefully. Kevin Feige has plans apparently, so hopefully we get the Fantastic Four and Wolverine in a Avenger movie. But to answer your question simply, I do think yes, it'll be a matter of time. Kevin Feige has hinted that they are coming into the universe, so it would be dumb for them not to team him up with the Avengers at some point. Because who would not want to see Wolverine fighting alongside the Hulk? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, I do want to mention something too about our alternate versions episode. So, we did an alternate versions episode of Captain Marvel last week, and I did forget to mention Monica Rambeau, who was actually the first female Captain Marvel in the comics. I forgot to mention her. It was an alternate version episode. I should have mentioned her, but hey, I'm human. Happens. Mistakes happen. Can't name them all. There's so many comic book characters out there. It just happens. But that's why I usually tend to say, I'm like, I know these aren't all the versions, but these are just some of the first ones that came to mind. So did want to mention if everyone was like, how do you not know about her? Yes, I just forgot. That happens, gets by me, gets by everyone here sometimes. It's life. But yeah, Monica Rambeau, first female cap. Did I say rainbow? Monica Rambeau, first female Captain Marvel, also known as Photon, which is probably why I forgot about her because that's kind of mainly how I know her. So yeah, there's that. But she was introduced in Captain Marvel as a little girl, so that was pretty cool. Maybe they'll do something with her in the MCU going forward. Um, Besides that, guys, yeah, I mean, I'm just very with the movie. I know this is a very polarizing movie. There's got a lot of politics around it, even still. A lot of drama going on Rotten Tomatoes with what they aren't doing. I'm not gonna get into all that. That's not my shtick. Again, I'm just gonna give you my opinion as a comic book fan, one way or another. I don't care, like, if what they do. I don't care if like the character is blue, if the character has 5 arms, if they're green, they're female, not female. I don't care. Just give me a good story and a character worth caring about, and I will like it. That's all I could say. It's the only thing I can say because I mean that's how anyone should judge any story, whether it's a movie, TV show, whatever. Just give us good story, good characters. Doesn't matter what they do or do not look like, what gender they are or aren't. Just give us that and we'll like it. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure you're always gonna have those crazy people who are just weird who won't always find stuff who not always find like reasons not to like things. But the general people, as long as you give us good stories, we're gonna like it. So like I said before, I don't have a horse in this race. I just want good stories, bro. I just want good stories. And the only reason why I didn't like Captain Marvel is not because of any other reason. It's just because I did thought her character in the movie was unfortunately kind of boring. That was my biggest takeaway with the movie. Like I found myself being bored a lot of the time. And Captain Marvel isn't the only movie that I was bored with and I was like very with. I thought Ant-Man and Wasp was like that as well. I thought Thor the Dark World was also falls along those lines. And Iron Man 3 kind of falls along those lines, even though I don't hate Iron Man 3 as much as most people do. But I know that's one that's generally accepted as like a not good MCU movie. But yeah, so just good stories. That's all I want. Don't care what they do or do not good with it. Just give me a good story, characters I care about. I'm gonna love it, man. I'm gonna love it. So, we got some super chats here that I want to acknowledge because, yeah, they were nice enough to give some super chats. Let's see. Lambert here says, "Do you think they'll do a Secret Invasion storyline?" Well, first of all, thank you so much for the generous super chat. That's one. You are awesome. I'm glad you uh enjoy the channel and listening to us rant about comic book goodness. Yeah, I definitely think they will. Kevin Feige, it's one of the things I was going to bring up. Kevin Feige actually hinted to it in an interview over the weekend, which is pretty weird to me though, because that's the reason why I was kind of pissed. So what they did with the scrolls in Captain Marvel, now they're good guys, makes it kind of hard for you to do Secret Invasion. I mean, there's definitely ways they could, go back and be like, oh, well, they're mainly good guys, but then there's a group of like bad scrolls, and they've been hiding on Earth disguised as like characters because they're pissed that like no one let them live anywhere and they tore them from their family. So they're just pissed. So, this certain amount of group has been infiltrating Earth and we didn't know, and they've been like Hawkeye all along, or they've been like Black Widow all along. And now, things are all screwed up and it's a secret invasion. So, yeah, they definitely could still do it if they go, they work around it and stuff like that. And they definitely will do it because Kevin Feige hinted to it. So I hope that answers your question. All right, James Lawrence got another super chat from James Lawrence. Thank you very much. First and foremost, we appreciate it. He says, "Do you think superhero fatigue is coming soon?" That's a yes and no. I think as long as they keep finding good and new ways to tell these stories that is still entertaining us and they could still do new, keep it fresh. No. But I do see a little fatigue from like because that was one of the complaints people had with Captain Marvel, where it was very much like a phase one like structure, origin movie where it's like a little slower and it just kind of had like that Marvel MCU Marvel method like beats in the movie where there was nothing really like crazy or like innovative about it as far as the storytelling went. So I mean, I don't know. I mean, it could very well happen, but I think if they start doing cool new things, I mean, Shazam, I think is a perfect example of that. Shazam looks like it's kind of like a new kind of thing where, you know, it almost looks like just like a pure fun family film, like a Home Alone or a Sandlot type movie, which it's just like it's fun. The whole family could see it. It's like an action comedy, so it's kind of different. Where like Marvel MCU movies are kind of they're all fun, and most of them are like they're all PG-13, so they're like family movies. But you know what I mean? Like Captain Marvel just has Captain Marvel. Well, I mean, he was Captain Marvel. Shazam just seems by the trailers has a different feel to it, and I think doing stuff like that where it's kind of like you're just changing it a little bit and giving us something a little fresh where it's like just the concept is great where it's you got this 15-year-old and like this only like adult Superman body. I think stuff if you keep doing stuff like that could be really cool. And then you got the New Mutants movie coming out, which is like a superhero like X-Men horror movie. That's like a cool spin on it. You got stuff like Deadpool, which is like a rated R superhero movie. So if you keep doing stuff like that, I don't think that's going to happen. But first and foremost, if you keep telling good and compelling stories like they definitely the MCU for the most part has been doing with all their movies, especially in a lot of their later movies, especially like Infinity War and stuff like that. Yeah, I think they'll always be here. I will say though, I don't think we're always going to be getting 6 superhero movies a year. I think that's going to be cut in half, eventually, but I don't think they're ever going to go anywhere. I mean, they've never really went anywhere. Even before the MCU and all this stuff, we've had, the Tim Burton Batman movies, the Joel Schumacher Batman movies, the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, that horrible Halle Berry Catwoman movie, you know what I mean? The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, the X-Men movies. So, the MCU didn't kick it off. It just brought us into a golden age of superhero movies. Um, but yeah, so they're always going to be around. But I guess to answer your question, maybe a little bit, but they're not going to go away, and it's only a matter of time before they get back. Like everything in life, it's like, but I don't see it anytime soon. You know, I think as long again as I keep telling good stories, people will still go see it because that's why we go to the movies, see good stories. So I hope that answers your question. We got another super chat before I continue my thoughts on Captain Marvel. Super chat from Desmond Bates. What was the plot similar to the Green Lantern movie? I'm assuming you're talking about Captain Marvel. I don't think so. I don't remember. I kind of block out Green Lantern a little bit. I used to make jokes about it all the time because it wasn't the best. I don't think so. I don't think the plot was similar. No. Um, yeah. But all in all, again, Captain Marvel. I thought it was just very mediocre. I know a lot of people liked it. That's awesome, but I know a lot of people also agree with me. So I feel you, and that's unfortunate. So, but I think she will be better. I think better utilized in Endgame, and I hope any doubts or fears we have will be fixed and addressed by the Russo brothers in Endgame going forward into Phase 4. But all I know is Endgame, Far From Home, Spider-Man 2, Black Panther 2. Can't wait for that. Got some cool stuff. Apparently, we got what's the other movie they're working on? Dang it, I forgot. Black Widow, right? They're doing a Black Widow movie. I can't wait for that. Black Widow should have had a movie way before Captain Marvel. That's my 2 cents. Because she's been around way longer and stuff like that, and I'd be told, dude, she's like an assassin spy, and Scarlett Johansson is awesome as a character. Bro, that would be freaking great. But yeah, we're getting it. It's just a matter of time. I'm gonna answer. We got another super chat, which I'm going to answer, and then I'm gonna get into Genlock right quick. That sums up my thoughts for spoiler review on Captain Marvel, guys. If you guys want to see more of my thoughts, did a review on it this past Saturday. All right. Christopher Bouchard. I'm horrible with names, especially last names. You never know how they're pronounced because even they're spelled a certain way, might not be pronounced that way. And I feel you if I butchered it because people like freaking butcher my last name all the time. They're like Quinones when it's Quinones. Yeah. Sorry. So Christopher, thank you for the super chat. We really appreciate it, bro. How many after credit scenes do you think there will be in Endgame? I'm gonna say there's gonna be no after credit scenes in Endgame because you're capping the MCU out, right? You're finishing it for not forever, but you're finishing the first 10 years, right? A decade. That's never really been done in like, theatrically, right? 10 years coming to an end. So I think it's just going to end. That's it. Nothing. I don't think it's gonna. I know. I think Infinity War had the Nick Fury one, right, where he calls Captain Marvel. I don't. I think that's it. I think it would be smart to not give it any credits. To just be like everyone be like, because I think it's gonna end, and we're gonna be like, well, that was a ride. And then we'll see, the repercussions in, I believe, Far From Spider-Man Far From Home, which is the first MCU movie after Endgame. So yeah, good question, man. But I think no end credit scenes for that. Let's see. Don Rubenacker has a super chat for us. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. Should Wolverine be Logan or Laura in the MCU? For me, that's an easy question because I'm a '90s kid. I'm all about the OG stuff and the stuff I grew up with because nostalgia and just yeah. I'm also a fan of legacy characters in general, like all the OGs. So Logan all the day long. Just cast them, make him like this, like he is in the comics, shorter, stockier, like freaking just this crazy brute slashing guy. I actually was in favor of like Tom Hardy playing Wolverine. I thought that would have been epic, but he's now Eddie Brock, aka Venom, and he was Bane before that. So maybe he's already used Bane and he's Venom. Maybe he doesn't mind playing Wolverine. So that was my pick. All right, guys, but that sums it up for Captain Marvel. I'm gonna get into Genlock real quick because I know there's some people who are like, talk about Genlock because it's a great show. So Genlock is a show on Verve. It is awesome. It is animated. It is led. The lead character is Michael B. Jordan, who voices Chase, which is the lead character. It's awesome. So if you didn't hear me talk about it last week, it's basically we're like in this post-apocalyptic type world where like this group called the Union is like taking over the world and trying to like do their bidding with it with like this nanotech and all that stuff. Then you have the Vanguard, which is this elite military who's trying to fight it back, and they have like all these mechs and cool stuff. And then at the end of that episode, we were introduced to a scientist, a crazy mad scientist. He's a good guy though. And we're like, who the heck is this guy? Didn't know much about it. Episode 2, we kind of now we're learning what the heck Genlock is, this show's about, and why it's called Genlock. So basically, at the end of the first episode, Chase, the main character, died, and his girlfriend watched him die. He was trying to defend New York City. By defending it from nanotech, he did so, but in so crashed his plane. He died. This jumps, I believe, 4 or 5 years into the future. This next episode, come to find out, he was dead, but the scientist dude was able to save him and use an experimental program on him to link his brain into a mech suit. And this process is called Genlock. That's why it's called Genlock. So basically, they've been testing him forever. Basically, when you come into the Vanguard, apparently, when you do your physicals and stuff like that, they test you and they prod you and they want to see if you're compatible. Secretly, this organization takes that data and sees if you're compatible with Genlock because you have to have a certain mindset. You have to be an elite soldier, certain thing like only like one in whatever. It's very rare for people to be compatible with Genlock and put basically their mind inside of these mechs. So unlike Power Rangers, unlike Voltron and stuff, it's not a person that is inside piloting the mechs. You are from a remote location, like a pod, right? And your brain waves go into the mech and you're piloting it that way. You know what I mean? So it's not like you're physically in there. Your brain is put in there and you can control it that way. So what happened was this guy found Chase. He's like all RoboCop style, beat up, where he's like he's lost his legs, like waist down, gone, and he's missing one of his arms. So he's like a torso, one arm, and like a head, right? And he's like in this floating pod, but like he can still talk and stuff, and this chemical pod is keeping him alive. And he kind of like goes around and the Vanguard and stuff like that in this hologram format. And his old girlfriend's pissed. She's like, "How could you not tell me?" He's like, "This is experimental. We want to see if this would work. I did this program so I could come back and say hi to you in this form. I'm technically still alive. It's just this is my like hologram version." And then she sees like how his battered, tattered up body like in this thing. She's all sad, but it's really, really cool. And then by then, it's kind of like Voltron and Power Rangers, where there's multiple pilots. I believe there's 5 in all, and they're all different colors. So it's kind of like off that, but they spin it in a cool way where it's like original enough, especially the whole Genlock stuff. I never seen anything like that. There might be, but I personally never seen anything like that. Um, where they come in and they just have to do their final test. We find out there's a spy from the Union in there with the guy in the blue armor, and he's like trying to kill the scientist and all that stuff. And by the end, he's basically like threatening them. He's like, "Yo, look, I'm gonna kill the scientist, dude, and all this stuff if you don't put my brain in one of those mechs," because he wants to get one of those mechs for the Union to bring it back so they can fight. Because these mechs are like crazy. They're like the best like high tech like things they've mates thus far, and probably going to be the catalyst for defeating the Union. So he wants to steal one and infiltrate the Vanguard and steal them, bring it to the Union because they found out about it. So he's like, "You put my brain in here right now, or I'm going to kill this guy." Blah blah blah. And they're like, "No, we can't do that, never." But the scientist is like, "Let them, let them." Because like I said earlier, you're not every like it's very rare if your brain is compatible. Guy doesn't know that the spy, the mole. So it's like, just let him. Puts him in there, hooks him up, puts him in the pod, and of course he dies. He starts bleeding out of his nose, freaking out, and he's like, "As I said, not everyone's compatible." I'm paraphrasing here, but that's what happens. That's how the episode ends. But this episode, it sets up a lot, dude. This is obviously that's not everything that happens. That's kind of like the gist, but it's really really cool, man. I definitely say you guys should like sign up. Again, links in the description. 30-day ad free trial. You could watch. It's only 8 episodes. They're like 20-ish minutes each. No commercials, no ads. I'm really digging. I'm kind of. I was talking about it earlier, and I wanted to like binge all of it, but I can't because I know if I binge all of it, then the episodes are going to blend together and I won't be able to talk about the single episodes every week. And that would not be fair to you because that's the whole point we're doing this to kind of have this, you know, talk about it. So yeah, I would say definitely go watch it. It's really good. The music's good. The acting's good. It's got Michael B. Jordan. It's got actors from Game of Thrones. It's like amazing cast. Again, Killmonger's in it, bro. Killmonger. So yeah, that is that. But real quick, I'm going to open this up to Q&A real quick, and then I am going to get out of here and eat some dinner, eat some din din. My tummy's a rumbling. All right, guys. So ask some questions and I will answer. Let's see. Sky Climber 7. Love your content. Mad love, yo. Keep it up. Thanks, man. Thank you, Sky Climber. I really, really appreciate it. You guys actually don't know how much this stuff means. I mean, it's always good to hear that. It's just keeps us going. No, it keeps me going. Let's see. Ultimate Gamer One Fuel. Are you excited for Hellboy Day on the 23rd? Yeah, man. I'm excited for the movie. I want to say I'm a massive Hellboy fan. I'm like a casual Hellboy fan where I haven't read every single Hellboy comic and stuff like that, but I know enough of him that I like the character, and I definitely like his original movies. So yeah, I'm definitely excited. He's a really cool concept. Love the character design. Mike Mignola is a freaking genius. So yeah, yeah. Bum 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 bum. Da, 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. I'm looking for Bat Night 1000. What kind of food? I think it's actually going to be Jersey Mike's today. My wife's not feeling great. And our 2-year-old's not giving her a good time today. So I think I'm going to pick us up some food on the way home and get some Jersey Mike's. Who doesn't love a good sub? I know I do. Love me some sandwiches. All right, Jaden Jacobs, what's going on with the giveaway? I'm glad you asked. The giveaway for the Miss Marvel comic books issue 1, the 3 winners were going to be announced this coming week. And is it this coming week? Yeah, this coming week in either our Wednesday episode or our Saturday episode. Probably our Wednesday episode. So stay tuned for that. We'll announce the winners and contact all those winners via social media. So look out for that later this week, and that's what's going on with them. Dun dun dun. Abrin Espstein, are you nervous about the future of the MCU? Nervous? I mean, I wouldn't say nervous. I mean, maybe a little bit, just because like either way, like I've said it before. Do you know how hard it's going to be to replicate these last 10 years again for like another decade? These last 10 years were so awesome. Sure, not every freaking movie was like a hit, but I'd say like for the most part, they were all like solid films. You know what I mean? I'd give the first 10 years like an 8, 9 out of 10 because there was very few misses in the grand scheme of things. You have like 20 something movies, right? And let's say just 4 or 5 of them are bad. That's good odds, man. That is solid freaking odds. So yeah, I'm nervous in the sense where like I don't know how you're gonna replicate this again for another 10 years. Like I said it before, I definitely do think it's an end of an era. So it's like bittersweet. And even if the next 10 years are awesome, it's still an end of an era. It's the first 10 years. Nothing like this has ever really been done before. So I'm sad but happy. I'm sad but happy, and I'm sure it'll end on a good note. Because if not, I'll cry. Christopher, gives us another super chat. Thank you so much, Chris. Let's see. Because I'm ready for Aquaman 2. Black Manta. Enjoy your channel. Yeah, man, I'm totally ready for Aquaman 2. I don't think Aquaman 2 is a perfect film by any means, but it was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching it, and that's what we care about watch superhero movies. Like I wasn't bored, and like like I said, got bored a lot of the time for Captain Marvel. I definitely wasn't bored for Aquaman. So yeah, I'm totally about it. Bring Black Manta back, man. Yes, 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 yes. What if this? I have a theory. What if for the next there's a shift in the tides where these first 10 years everyone was like MCU, Marvel, 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 but now it kind of switches where Marvel starts making like the mediocre movies and DC starts to rise and make the awesome movies because everyone loved Aquaman. Everyone loved it. Seems the reviews are coming out for Shazam. Everyone's saying Shazam looks awesome. Wonder Woman was awesome. So what if they figured it out to where they have a formula that works now? Because the Joaquin Joker movie seems like that's going to be awesome. We got a Matt Reeves Batman movie. That's probably going to be awesome. So what if, you know, the tides change? Could happen. Could happen. I'd be happy because, I love both companies. So like it was crappy that we were getting mediocre DC films and awesome Marvel films, which that was great. But we were, it's like I would kind of like the trade off just because now we've already got awesome Marvel films, and I want awesome DC films. So I mean, I wouldn't be mad about that, but I would rather them both give us awesome films at the same time because then we're just awesome no matter which way we turn, and we're just getting good content from everywhere. That's ideal. So I hope that happens. That Marvel stays on pace and they're like still awesome for the next 10 years, and DC just figures out their crap and they're awesome for the next whatever years. All right, let's see. Dun, 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 bum, bum, bum. Let's see. Jesus Christ asked me, whoa, Jesus, nice to meet you. Says Captain Marvel better than Infinity War. Are you asking me if Captain Marvel is better than Infinity War? Because if you are, no, 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 no way. Not in my opinion, at least. I'm sure there might be some people that think that, but you're asking me, so I'm gonna give you my opinion, which is no. Infinity War, I think, is probably my favorite MCU. It's probably one of my favorite. It's definitely one of my favorite superhero movies, top 3 for sure. So yeah, no. um Let's see. Bat Knight 1000. Can you give me a shout out? Yo, shout out Bat Knight 1000. Bum 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 bum. Uh, Christopher Christopher Bochard asks again. I hear that Marvel will take a year off after Spider-Man. I did not hear this. If that's true, that'd be interesting, but I haven't heard this. That's actually very interesting. Oh, let's see. What did I say? I don't know why I did that. I was like thinking in my head. Ty came and really love your videos. Appreciate that. Definitely appreciate that. Oh, I do want to address this. Someone's asking, did you watch Umbrella Academy? No, I haven't watched Umbrella Academy. But remember how I promised you guys and said we were going to try to work in Umbrella Academy episode? Well, we did it. We did it. Worked it out. Figured it out. This Wednesday is going to be a history of Umbrella Academy. Boom. Everyone's been asking for it. You guys were originally going to get it weeks ago, but I got sick, couldn't do it. Then our schedule just got away from us going into Captain Marvel and now Shazam and all that stuff. So this Wednesday, for everyone asking, is going to be a history of the Umbrella Academy. Ta-da. All right, guys. With that said, I am going to wrap this up. But fret not, you will see me Wednesday for the history of Umbrella Academy, and you will see me on Saturday because we did something interesting today. I actually chatted with my buddy John Boy Myers, who is uh awesome comic book artist. He's doing covers for DC right now. He launched and did this for several issues for Teen Titans for DC Rebirth. He did Marvel and Human Royals. He did Spawn with Todd McFarlane. Awesome dude, amazing artist. We chatted with him for a bit. I got to pick his brain, talk about the comic industry, designing Damian Wayne's Robin costume, all that fun stuff. And that's going to be this Saturday's episode, which is kind of cool. We're going to start getting back to interviewing a lot more creators and writers, hopefully at least once a month. So maybe we'll get like, Zack Snyder on here in the future, Todd McFarlane, Steve Orlando doing Martian Manhunter. Lots of cool people on here. We'll try to get them on and chat comics with them with you guys. So we could talk to people actually in the biz. We're gonna try to do that at least once a month, and hopefully you guys dig that. With that said, that brings today's episode to a close. Now we'll see you guys on Wednesday with a history of the Umbrella Academy. Later, guys.